Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are
the Fear Babes.
Once upon a time, there was a podcast, and it was called Fear Babes Podcast. And it featured your hosts, me, Burgundy, and Madeline, and
me.
The end.
That was
it.
That was beautiful.
And now you're listening to the Fear Babes Podcast.
Thank you very much for that intro.
You're welcome. I tried so hard.
Well, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Fear Babes.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're glad you're here. I anticipate this is about the point where people are like, yeah, I'm not listening to this shit. Click. Turns it off. Not even a whole minute in yet. They're like, yeah, never mind. Bye.
Fuck that shit.
That's what I would do. No, I'm just kidding. Do you want to hear about my ghostesses story before we go into the Destination Fear, Project Fear ghostesses?
I do. Real quick, I do want to say that, you guys, I am hearing this ghostesses story for the first time because we're trying to save stuff for this podcast. So I'm excited. Yay! We're hearing it at the same time.
Woo!
Yay! Woo! Okay, go.
Okay, so basically what happened was... No, I'm just kidding. Dawn's gonna listen to this and be like, ew, fuck you, and turning it off. And then like, turns it off. So, last Saturday, we went to the Elks Lodge here in town. So the building was built in 1922, and it's never been anything other than the Elks Lodge.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important to note. I don't really know why, but I'll tell you anyways. So, they did like an earlier ghost tour. It wasn't, I guess it's supposed to be a ghost hunt. I shouldn't say tour. Ghost hunt, but did one from like 6 to 8. And then between 8 and 9, there was like a happy hour. So you could go and get drinks at the bar. For anybody that doesn't know, like Elks Lodges, like you can't be in there unless you're a member.
Okay. I see. All right.
So it was like a special thing. They let people in. They have a bar in there. So like, they're like, we're going to do a happy hour drinks with them. Obviously, you have to buy your own drinks though, whatever. So we went at 8. And then the ghost hunt was from 9 to midnight. I will tell you though, we should become Elks Lodge members because the drinks were real cheap and it was a real big drink. So
really?
Yeah, like if you gave me like we still got like vodka with cranberry.
One of my faves.
A whole tall glass.
Wow.
Yeah,
usually
a whole tall glass. 3 of those, $11.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
So like usually when I go to like a bar and I get like a rum and coke or a vodka cran, it's like the little teeny cups every single time, and I'll pay $11 for one drink of a teeny cup.
Bro, that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, we're doing something wrong because this is how it is. Like, because there's like a whole like dinner table glass, a tall one, vodka cran, 3 of them, $11.
I wonder if it's because it's a like private lodge. That only like it's member exclusive. That is interesting. Anyway.
Yeah. So I was like, this is where it's at, man. I know Dawn's thinking about becoming an Elks member. I don't really know much about Elks Lodges. I will tell you I didn't really do a whole lot of research before going into this. I just did it. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's usually like a lot of like military guys, Navy guys, people of that nature is who ends up being Elks Lodge members.
I see.
So we go and there's like this giant room that we all started in, and there's like this big blue couch and a bunch of like tables. And so we go in there, and so the people that run it in Casper, they've created vehicles to look like the Ghostbusters vehicles.
Oh, sick.
And then they also wear full-on Ghostbusters costumes. So
I love that.
I was kind of afraid. Like, not afraid. I was nervous that this would be like more of a theatrical event and not like a real event walking into it. kind of a little bit nervy about that. So he has all this equipment, like he had an SLS camera, he had a spirit box, he had a couple EMF readers. What else did he have? But the group was there was like 30 to 40 people in this group.
Wow.
Yeah, he said it was the biggest event they ever had. And so, they had some REM pods. One of the REM pods was shaped like a teddy bear.
Oh, like the one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those before.
So me and my parents decided we weren't going to try to like carry around any equipment. We were just going to kind of just hang back and observe. I forgot what else they had because I didn't really play with the equipment too much. But we started in this room and the guy was like, let's do an Estes method right away. And we were like, okay. So some lady volunteered to go under and she just sat in the middle of all of us. And we asked some questions and the ghost didn't really communicate too much that way. They said like one word, couldn't even remember what it was. Another lady had those, what are they called? Are they dowsing rods?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had dowsing rods. She was standing right in front of me. So we got more answers that way. But I don't know, I'm a little bit skeptical about a dowsing rod because it's so easy to like tweak it and have it move accidentally.
I am skeptical of those myself.
So I was like staring at her hands so hard because like I said, she was standing right in front of me. Like I made a joke. I was like, you don't have to stand that close to me. And so I was like staring at her hands to see if she was moving them or not. I was like, I'm gonna catch you.
Because it truly is so easy.
Yeah. Because, so they had swapped out like halfway through. And so the first girl, I think she was holding them pretty steadily. But the next girl was shaking so bad, I'm pretty sure she got like false readings.
Like readings. Yeah.
She was definitely shaking so bad. But the guy that was leading it, he told us that across the street from the Elks Lodge, he's like, sometimes ghosts wander in from outside because across the street is a city park. And it used to be way back in the day, that would be where they would do the public hangings. So he said he said that he's been there before and they would have like the spirit box out and like something would be like hung. And he's like, I know you were hung. Like, anyways, we started in that room, did a little Estes, not a lot happened. We went down to I guess you could call it a basement first. And it was like a dining area and some kitchens down there. And I took a lot of photos. I got some good photographic evidence, I think. Because I sent you the ghosts that I got in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Like, those aren't people.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And then I got 2 other ones that are fairly decent. It was kind of disappointing because there were so many people, and it was the weekend before Halloween. And so, like, a lot of the people were not taking it seriously and just, like, goofing off the whole time.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing. Like, I have been fortunate when I've gone on, like, these big group, like, tours or investigation type things where people have, like, been very serious about it. But just the thought of somebody not taking it seriously, it's like, dude, you paid for this.
I paid for this.
And other people, be respectful. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really disappointing for me because, people were just like, there was like a couple that was drinking and they were like, I'm a ghost. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm here to find ghosts, okay? Shut the fuck up. So, they had a laser grid. They had a couple of cat balls. So they put some cat balls on the table. Didn't touch them for a few minutes to make sure they stabilized. One of them lit up. Nothing was captured on the laser grid downstairs. People were just being really fucking obnoxious. So we just went, like, I took all those photos and I found those. Like, I was going through my photos when I first got those 2 in the corner. And my mom's like, what's that? She's like, those are ghosts. And I'm like, are we sure? Because I was like, just like skimming through. I wasn't like really focused on them. And I'm like, I'm going to have to do some digging on this later. And then I took some pictures of a creepy-ass kitchen, like way, way back in the kitchen. Like, I was like, I'm not going back there. I don't like how it feels over there. And that's where I got one of the other shots. Then we went upstairs to the ballroom, and it was, like, really dark in there. And there's, like, this little storage room area in the right-hand corner, and I just kept, like, looking at the doorway, and I was like, pretty sure something's in there. Like, I just kept feeling like something was like staring out at us, And so I told my mom, I was like, Mom, come over here to the storage room with me. And the ballroom was a massive room, dude. I was like, this is insane. But then that was kind of annoying too, because then people not taking it seriously were like echoey, you know? So we got in the storage room and we talked to the ghosts. I think my mom, she got an app, like a spirit box or a digital recorder app on her phone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a digital recorder, I remember now. So we went in there, we asked a couple questions, didn't really get much, because all you can hear is just the people in the ballroom talking. I'll have to see if she still has it, if I can re-listen to it. And then they put a REM pod on the stage, and nobody was near it, and the REM pod was going off a lot. And Dawn was like, it's because people are moving, that's why the REM pod's going off. And I was like, nobody's fucking near it, bro. Like, it's up a step on the stage. And he was like, no, it's because the people are moving, blah, blah, blah. So then the guy was like, who wants to go to the attic? And we were like, we do! So then he's like, I can only take like 8 people. And so we ran over there. And we went to the attic, and it was on this, like, we had to use this really sketchy, creepy old elevator. Like, kind of one of the ones in the College Hill episode, actually. It was like a similar type of elevator.
I don't know. There's just something about old elevators that really creep me out.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So we had to, like, he had to slide the door and then lift the other door up, and then we all had to, like, cram in there like a can of sardines. And then he's like, press the button, and we go whoop to the attic. And there was some teenage girls with us, and they're like, there's demons in here. And we were like, there's no fucking demons in here, dude. Like, whatever. She's like, there's a demon in the corner. And I'm like,
a demon?
Oh, okay. Definitely not a demon in the corner, but that's fine, whatever. And the guy was like, all right, let's do a spirit box session. Oh no, an Estes session. And so somebody's like, I want to go under. And my mom's like, I want to know who George is. And they were all like, George? And she's like, yeah, George. He's like standing over there behind that wall. So she's like, I want to know why he doesn't want to come out and talk to us. And then we got nothing. I just took a bunch of pictures up there, but you can't even see it because it's all pitch black. Like, it looks like my phone's not even on. Like, that's how dark the pictures are. And then we went back down to the ballroom. And then the REM pod was, like, spazzing out again. And Don was, like, trying to prove that it was people moving. So he went over and he started, like, stomping on the stage and stuff.
What the fuck?
He's like, it's because movement. And he's, like, stomping. And then it wasn't going off. And I was like, see, told you. We were just, like, sitting in the chairs off on the sides, just kind of observing, and the REM pod started going off again, and then, like, this time, like, nobody, like, seriously nobody was near it, because, like, the first time people were, like, you know, a couple feet away. This time there was, like, no one around, and I was like, see, Dawn? Nobody's over there! And it's just going off! And he's like, there's gotta be a reason why it's going off.
Oh, God.
And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. Like, we didn't really get much other evidence than the REM pod going off and my pictures. Like, we didn't even stay the whole time. We left.
And I don't blame you.
Yeah, because people were just, like, making it not fun, you know? Like, the drunk couple, they actually went, like, there was this little third stair area you could go up, straight, just bathrooms. They led to just bathrooms. But we didn't know that, so we went up there and we're like, oh, it's just bathrooms. So we're gonna go back down, and the drunk couple went into the men's bathroom together, so.
Well,
I was like, now? Like, right now.
What a turn of events.
I wanted to go to a different area, because they didn't really, like, once they took us up to the ballroom, that was, like, it. They were just like, you can do basically whatever you want. So I was like, let's go back to the basement, maybe, because I thought nobody was down there. But then we started going downstairs, and those teenagers that were like, there's demons here, they decided to go to the basement, too. So then I was like, fuck it, let's just go. I'm done. I'm over it. I want to leave. People are ruining it for me.
I don't know. That's the one thing about, like, the whole group thing, like I was saying earlier, is that, like, you don't know the people you're going to get. And so it's like, it's either going to go really good or it's going to fucking suck ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh. But it sounds like overall it was still like a good experience.
Yeah, it was an interesting building for sure. And I mean, like,
yeah,
again, you can't really go in there unless you're a member. So it would be cool to go with a smaller group.
Yeah.
And see, because obviously on my, like I said, on my photos, I got some pretty compelling photo evidence, but I also feel like, because I kept feeling things, right? Like how many of our ghost investigator interviews, people told us just use your own body.
Yeah.
Like, I kept like, I could sense stuff was there. I was like, I mean, if I was a ghost, I wouldn't come out right now either. It's like too much going on and people are being dumb, you know?
Well, that's the first thing I think about. Like, when you're with so many people, especially like 30 something, 40,
Yeah.
that energy is just, you're not going to really get anything.
Yeah.
Because there's literally too many people.
Yeah. And there's like the people that are trying to take it serious, and then the people that are just like, there's demons here. Everything's evil. Ah! And then there's the people that are just being like kind of drinking and stupid and not taking it seriously and all that jazz. So it's just a chaotic mixture of emotions and energy and events.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that was the ghost hunt number 2 that I did this year locally. So I really, really liked Fort Casper.
Yeah, that one sounded like you had like a better experience.
Yeah, it was just smaller groups, so I think it was more. And like the people that we were with were like way into it. Like,
yeah.
the people that had the spirit box in the back room where my mom and I thought something was sitting on the bed, they were like, every year we do this and we get the spirit box, and every year like the ghost comes through and it speaks Spanish to us.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it was like we asked a question, I didn't remember the question, and the spirit box was like, "See," and my mom was like,
See,
was that Spanish? And because it was like a yes or no type of question, and she was like, "Is that Spanish?" And they're like, "Yeah, every year it speaks Spanish."
that's awesome though.
Like, okay.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, like the history that would add up.
I know. That one was a lot more. I don't want to say the Elks one wasn't like a legit ghost hunt. It was too many people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, anyways, Mads, that was very climactic ghost hunt story. The photos are cool though. Maybe I'll post those.
You should. I think you should, personally. So,
do you have anything you want to say before we just dive in?
Nothing at all. I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, brother.
I just feel like life is busy. It's just that I haven't really done anything recently. Well, I say that, but that's a lie. I've done a lot of things recently, but just nothing that's highlightable.
Yeah.
So
I just figured I'd tell the ghost stories because, I mean, that's kind of what our podcast is about, so.
Exactly. Well, on that note,
shall we dive into it then?
Shall we dive into it? We absolutely should. So,
hell yeah.
Today we are discussing Destination Fears episode at Old Hospital on College Hill, as well as Project Fears episode at Old Hospital on College Hill.
So I'll tell you. So Mom and Dawn decided to do the homework on this one with me.
Really?
And, yeah. So by homework, I mean we watched the episodes again before we talk about it, right? So Dawn's like, "What episodes are we watching?" And I was like, I was like, I flip it in my head every single time. I was like, it's Old College Hospital. No, that's wrong. Old Hospital on College Hill. I was like, I always want to swap them around, you know?
Yeah.
Like every time,
too.
I don't know what it is. Like this one's a tongue twister or something.
It is.
Old Hospital College Hill. Hospital College Hill. Like I always want to say Old College on Hospital Hill, and I'm like, that's not correct. I know it's not correct.
But it just feels like it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So
in like a weird way.
Yeah.
It almost really does.
Yeah. I'm like, I know it doesn't make sense, but I want it to make sense.
Exactly.
Because that's what my brain thinks it is every time.
Literally same. As we're starting this off, we kind of take a relatively large jump as far as Destination Fear Sweet Springs, like season 1, episode 3, to now at Destination Fear's episode at Old Hospital on College Hill. I had to really think about that.
See?
Where it's the season 2 finale. So it's season 2, episode 14. So pretty freaking crazy, honestly. Like, I didn't think I would notice that big of a difference. And like, of course they have at that point, you know, at the beginning of this episode, they've been to like 24 locations, I think, by this point. So it's just kind of wild, I guess, like just how drastic the jump is. I don't know, like I still expected there to be some sort of like amateur ambiance to it all, but there really wasn't. Like they grew so much between season 1 to the end of season 2.
They're always like
what a jump.
They're always trying to like one up like how they've like things they've done before too is always interesting to me.
It is.
They still look like babies though.
They do.
Like that's the first thing Don said when I turned it on. He was like, "Wow, you can tell they're a lot younger here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. And not just that, but I do want to mention it because one of our favorite things to talk about on the podcast is Connor and Dakota's editing. So again, with it being the season 2 finale of Destination Fear, the editing grew tremendously from the prior season. So a lot of growth is already happening. Like we're seeing a lot of nice little sprouts popping up.
Yeah, for sure.
Little
sprouts.
I also thought it was really cool as well that since it was the end of season 2, they did like a little mini season 2 review, and we got to see not only their growth, but all the crazy evidence that they caught at all the different locations, because they went to 14 different locations in season 2. And season 1, they had only went to 10. So it was crazy to see that evidence that they caught, because they caught some wild stuff.
I know. Like Chelsea was doing like that recap at the beginning of the episode, and she asked like what their what did she say? She asked what their most compelling evidence was so far, or what they thought their best evidence was, or something like that.
Yeah, it was something along those lines.
And Dakota was like Saratoga County Homestead when he caught the shadow running across the hallway.
Yeah, that was scary. I remember watching that episode live. It was crazy.
I low-key was like, I wish they would have re-gone to Saratoga already on Project Fear. I was like, because I would love to compare the two.
Me too.
Like, dang, I want to talk about Saratoga.
The places that they did go to, like in this Return to Terror portion, they were very interesting, and the evidence that they got was compelling. But yeah, I have to agree with you that I would have loved to see them go back to Saratoga, because I just remember like seeing that caught on camera when we were watching it live, and like my heart just like dropping. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Right. Exactly, dude.
So yeah, I can't believe that that's not one of the episodes that we tell people to watch more often.
Saratoga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot about it.
Oh, no, I tell people about Saratoga sometimes, but like I'm always like Trans-Allegheny will never leave my brain, ever.
Yeah, that one's always your number one, and it is scary though.
It's just the fucking phone thing, man. It gets me every time. I'm like, how?
Wild. It's wild.
Like, make it make sense. I can't make it make sense.
There is nothing. I'm curious on Don's thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
Which
I'm going to have to ask him again. I'm going to make him rewatch it and ask him again. Because, like, everything else, it's like, you know, they hear noises. That could be anything. It's an old building, right? Like, you don't want to explain it away, but you could attempt really hard to explain it away, right? But, like, Trans-Allegheny, Tanner calling Alex, Tanner's phone's in the gear room, Tanner's phone is dead. Like, how do you explain that?
Nothing. There is nothing that I could possibly think of to explain that.
Yeah, it just like blows my mind.
Never. It does mine too.
That's why I'm like,
I know. Yeah, it's really good. And I mean, like what we talked about last week with Sweet Springs, the chanting is what has always stuck with me. And of course, you know, the activity that they caught is what ended up resulting in my nightmare the very night after I watched the premiere episode, but that's not here nor there. I still think it would have been an episode that stuck with me, regardless of whether or not I had a nightmare or not. But it's so funny that we each have our own life-changing Destination Fear episode.
I know. I just like, so I had everybody at work watch Project Fear for our happy hour for Halloween. And who was it? I think because Shay watches it because she started watching all this stuff like a year ago when I was like, Shay, you should watch this. And then she did. I think there was an episode she talked about, or maybe I was just telling her a story, but I was like, oh yeah, like we could watch this episode, but it's Destination Fear, and I have no way to log into anything I could watch Destination Fear on at work. So, because like YouTube's free, you just log in.
Exactly.
You know, but I'm like, I'm not gonna log into Philo on the conference room TV at work. Like,
exactly.
That's weird. So yeah, I'm like, we have to pick Project Fear episodes. Oh, because I think somebody did suggest Saratoga, and I was like, we can't watch Saratoga. That's friggin' Destination Fear. Like,
unfortunately, yeah.
So, yeah, Sweet
See,
Sweet's a good one to start with.
That is one. Saratoga and then Trans-Allegheny both. I wish that they had done that in the Return to Terror portion.
I know. I mean, they might still go back though. So
exactly, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
So I will tell you something noticeably interesting. Now I know that we get 2 episodes per location in Project Fear, so that's definitely a factor, right? But for my Destination Fear episode, I don't even have 2 whole pages of notes.
I actually had made that note in here too, that yes, like what you said, there are 2 episodes of Project Fear, but the episode went by so fast.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even get to really see the old hospital on College Hill. We just, like, their solos were like a second. And like the sleeping alone portion, a second.
Yeah. Like, because my PF notes, I have 6 pages of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mine are very long, but that was a note that I made as well. And I do also, before we get too into it, I did want to say, to answer our question from last week in regards to Alex and the packet read thing, at the end of season 2, Alex was still not doing the packet read with the crew. So that had to have started in season 3.
Yeah.
So that's just an observation that I wanted to make.
I think there might have been one, I don't know which, season 2 or season 3, but there was like, he read 1 or 2, but he still wasn't really reading that many of them. So I don't know if that happened, because, you know, this old hospital on College Hill is the finale of season 2, but it might have been season 3 where it started. You're right.
It seems like they all just like blend together.
They definitely do. Well, and you have to remember too, season 2 and 3, I think Travel Channel split it up. So, like, yes, there's 14 locations and 14 episodes, but I think they only showed us 7, and then we had a 2-month gap, and then the next 7 or something like that.
Yep. That's exactly what they did.
So it was like, it feels very extended and very blended at the same time.
It does. That's the one thing I really hated, which I've seen a lot of people put some hate on Project Fear for how quote unquote slow they release episodes, but nothing compares to having to wait a year for 8 episodes on Travel Channel for Destination Fear. Nothing, like waiting a couple months for Project Fear, I don't even give a fuck, like, because I know that I'm going to get all these episodes with all this content in it. Like, we get 2 hours of content per location. How can you be mad about that?
Yeah.
Like, I personally don't understand it. I can sympathize with, you know, being upset about it, but nothing compares to having to wait a year for 8 episodes from Travel Channel. For whatever reason that was. I don't understand that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that too, and like the whole, like, people are like, oh, why did they split it up into 2 episodes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, because I have 2 notes from fucking one and 6 pages from notes from the other. That's why. Like, you're getting to see so much more of the evidence that they actually caught. Because, like, in Destination Fear, because they still film the same amount of time, a whole over, like, you know, sundown to sun up, basically. Well, I think Dakota said 8 to 12 hours is how long they film.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. I'm like, So, but in Destination Fear, they had to chop it up to just like the best pieces, you know?
Yeah,
In Project
exactly.
Fear, they have more time to show us more of the evidence that they caught.
Because, like I said, like in Destination Fear's episode, it was like so crazy to see just how little we saw of the locations.
Yeah.
Like, very, very, very little.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just in contrast to watching like these last 2 episodes of Project Fear at the location, it's like, what a drastic difference. Like, we didn't know anything about a haunted elevator in there. We didn't know a lot of things, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we could only know so much because they could only highlight the best parts.
Yeah. I do prefer 2 episodes of
Me
Project
too.
Fear, but that's
Me
just
too.
me. And again, it's everybody has their own opinion, so it's fine. Whatever. If you want to start from the very, very beginning of the Destination Fear episode, I do sometimes miss the RV. Like the RV was so iconic.
Yes, I was actually going to bring that up because we fucking forgot to talk about it in our last review episode.
Mhm.
The RV, seeing it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I have never felt nostalgia like that.
Well, there was a shot like right when they arrive and they're all getting out and walking in, and there's like an aerial shot, and it's just the RV with the lights on, and you could just kind of see the crew walking in, and I was like, damn, that's iconic.
I know. And it's so sad. Like, do you remember? And it like brought back like this memory of when Project Fear first started and everybody was like, oh, no RV. But
Yeah.
it's like, guys, those things
you know
are
how
fucking
expensive an RV is, my
yeah.
God. Listen, Linda.
So expensive.
I grew up, we had motorhomes growing up, and they were never the brand new fancy ones. They were always used ones, but shit's expensive, man.
Hell yeah, brother. They sure are.
Yeah.
So yeah, RIP to the RV.
RIP that RV. That's a good one.
Okay, so when they pulled up to Old Hospital in College Hill, Chelsea immediately says, this is a very energy consuming location and I'm running on empty. Because when you pull up to it, I mean, it's so scary. It sits on the top of a hill and it looks just as scary as you would think. Like it's terrifying.
Yeah. And the way the building is shaped, it's just like, ugh. And the color of it, ugh.
Well, see, to me, it doesn't even look like a hospital.
It's very boxy looking, and then it's just like kind of dingy, like blue-gray, and then and it's on a hill, and then if you put like a really nice thunderstorm behind it, it would be like, ugh, chills.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
And then you just imagine like spiders crawling around. Yeah, no.
No,
thank you.
That's disgusting. Yeah. But yeah, it's such a creepy place and definitely an energy consuming kind of like place for sure. Yeah. It's like what you see in horror movies.
Mm-hmm. So I love that this time they started with solos. And Dakota's like, I'll take one for the team. I'll go first. Like, he's expecting them to all be like, our hero.
Oh my God. I made that note. I said, Dak goes in first. Wow. I am in disbelief. Okay, we'll say it for you. Oh my God, Dakota, our hero.
I'm not even no. Nope.
Everybody's like, well, thank fucking God he's going first. He deserves it.
Yeah, literally that is true. He does indeed deserve it.
Nobody's thinking.
For the team, I'll go first. Okay, yeah, get your ass in there, bitch. Like,
as he was walking in, he was like, I'm a little scared. I'm like, yeah, you should be, bitch.
Yeah, literally. He goes in and he sets up all the cameras. So I'm like, half of your time in there alone was spent setting up the equipment anyways. It's not like you actually had to just wander around and just be in there. Like,
exactly. Everybody's like, oh, wow, he's been in there a while, but he's actually just setting up the cameras.
The other 3 have to go in and be in there for a whole hour. But Dakota's like, nah, half my time is just me setting up the equipment.
Yeah,
literally. So
clever little shit. I'm telling you, I think he has he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing when he does stuff like that because he's like, well, if I go in here and I set up all the cameras, then everybody else has to be in here for a full hour and I get an excuse. Yeah.
He was literally like doing the math in his head. He's like, it takes me about 45 minutes to set up 3 different cameras, 15 minutes each. So if I tell anybody they have to go in here and do a solo for an hour, and I actually set up cameras, that's most of my hour. So I only have to really be alone, focus in 15 minutes. And then, in those 15 minutes, he hears beeping from the 4th floor.
Yeah.
It's like, that's your karma, Dakota.
That's what you get. Not gonna lie.
So I just thought that was funny.
It is funny. It's hilarious. But then, unfortunately, after Dak, Chelsea pulls for her solo second.
Yep.
And this badass bitch. Now, keep in mind, last week when we were talking about Sweet Springs, Chelsea was very scared, screaming, doing her whole, the whole 9 yards. But the first thing she says, or one of the first things she says, should I say, this badass bitch goes, I'm going to face my fear and start in the basement.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Heard it. I was like, go, Chels.
Because, season 1 Chelsea could not have done that.
No.
Season 2 finale Chelsea did.
She walked in there, flipped her hair, and walked downstairs. Like,
all right, baddie. All right, I see you.
My ass would walk in and I'd be like, I could go downstairs or upstairs. And I would turn around and walk outside.
Me too. Hey, when they say like a solo and they're like, hey, go do a solo, you know what I would do? I would stand in the same spot the entire hour.
Walk inside the door, sit down.
It's like, there's no rules to this. Did y'all set any rules? No.
You get in just far enough they can't see you from where they're sitting and just sit down.
Yeah.
Just don't move.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna chill.
And then you can just play it off and be like, dang, I got nothing.
Actually, Matt's even better. So they're like, you have to go be alone for an hour, right? Just go walk around the outside of the building.
Behind it and where they can't see you.
And just sit there in the grass and just like, oh, hello, frog. How's it going? There's like a little frog and a bird.
The worst part is that we have to film ourselves, and that would be the worst part. Because it would be like, I could just know. I was about to say, you could just keep walking up and down the same hallway and be like, I'm on the 3rd floor.
They're like, wait, I saw that picture on the wall 10 minutes ago. You're on a different floor now? That makes no sense. No, you just go in the back and just sit there, and then Connor and Dakota are editing it a month later. They're like, what the fuck?
And see, they couldn't do anything then, because what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Nothing, bitch. Try me. Try me. That's so funny. I'm sorry. I was just about to say that. That's so funny. That's exactly what I would do. I'm not even fucking with you.
I just love how this turned into Project Our Imaginations.
Well, I mean, it's like one of those things where you're seeing these people go on these investigations and they're there in the dark and they're so scared, but it's like, think smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. I mean, at this point, I know that they do it for fun. It's actually fun to go and do that and do the scary stuff. But I'm like, this is fun. But I'm going to stand in the hallway by myself if I have to be here by myself. So, sorry, you didn't set rules. I make my own.
Sorry, Charlie. Mm-hmm. Yep. All you said was I had to do a solo for an hour by myself. That's it. That's all you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't
Bro, just get a taxi cab, go back and take a 40-minute nap. You come back. I did my solo for an hour.
That reminds me, I don't remember what fucking location it was, but do you remember on Destination Fear when Alex chose a very scary location and then he chose everybody's sleeping arrangements and then he slept the whole night in his safe and sound sleeping arrangement? Bro was knocked out. That would be us.
That would be us. Rumor has it that might have been when he was getting COVID.
Oh well.
Because he's sick. Poor guy. That's so funny.
Either way, what he did was kind of fucked.
he's like,
He's like, leave it to fate. Fuck that. You go here, you go there, and you go there. I
gonna go take a nap over here.
I go sleepy night. Fuck all of you guys.
Was it ISS the first time they went there? Is that when he did that?
I don't know. But if it is, we'll find out in a couple weeks.
Oh no, you know what? I think it was Idaho State Penitentiary.
Fuck! Well...
So fuck.
It's just that it's so funny. Like, what the fuck? How dare you, first of all? But guess what? I'm not hating. You're not hating. We'd fucking do it.
Yep. I would find the most comfy spot and just take a nappy.
I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I want. Who said it has to be scary all the time?
Yeah.
Not me. Not you.
Oh, I'm picking the location. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to drive you up, drop you off, leave your asses there, and I'm out. Bye.
No. Listen, it's like you do that, but then you're like, okay, I'm going to go park the car. And then the next thing you know, they're like, hey, where's Berg? Hey, where's Mads? Did you guys see them?
Never come back.
And then we make a text. Oh, we're already inside. We're on the 3rd floor. We're checking it out. They go up there. We're nowhere to be found.
On the backs. So.
And then like the cameras flip over to us in the hotel room, like cuddled up and sleeping.
We just put the camera on the nightstand. Just lay down.
That would be so funny. I'm not even fucking with you, man. Oh man, if this actually happens, we're giving away all of our good ideas.
I know, we're never gonna get invited, man, ever.
Not that we ever would be anyway, but it's kind of funny.
But if there was ever further. A small sliver that we could have been, it's definitely gone now.
It's gone. It's out.
It's me at the beginning of this episode. I really hate when people don't take this shit seriously.
Us.
Us right now. If we ever go with them, we're not taking it seriously at all. So
we would immediately ruin any chance of ever doing it like more than one time. Like it'd be over. They'd be like, oh, where the fuck are you guys at? And we're sleeping. And then they find out about it, and then they're like, okay, well, this isn't happening again, so good luck.
You were probably the worst guest we've ever had.
I do think it'd be good for comedy purposes.
No. Bad footage, because we'd only be shown for like 2 minutes. Fucking sleeping, but...
Oh, God.
Dude.
Well... speaking of funny moments in the episode,
oh yeah, back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about.
Dakota did a walkie scare on Chelsea, which it was funny. Yeah. It was funny, but like, it's Chelsea.
Yeah, like you should have done it to Alex or Tanner, not Chels.
Exactly. Like I get protective, of Chelsea, because I'm like, she's the only girl, and like, I know that she could beat all of their asses in like 0.2 seconds, but it's just the principle, Mm-hmm. It's like, how dare you? How fucking dare you?
I know. Exactly. Like, why Chels? Why Chels?
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way. But then, after Chelsea's 5-second solo, but actually it occurred over the course of an hour.
5 seconds solo.
Alex gets pulled third.
Yup.
Unfortunately. So
is it unfortunate though?
Unfortunately for us, not for him.
Yeah.
Because he should have been pulled first. But alas, Dakota decided to be
Dakota wanted to be everyone's hero.
Yeah.
Like,
no one asked.
Yeah.
So, so during Alex's solo, there were 3 very loud bangs that came from the 2nd floor. And then what was creepy as fuck is that in combination with the loud bangs, there was a black mist being caught on camera at the same time. So that's fucking scary. I about shit myself when I saw that because I did not remember that. From when I watched it the first time. So I was a little creeped out. Because like whatever that shadow figure was, it clearly is the source of the banging.
You think so?
It has to be, right? Like,
is it the source of the banging or the reason for it?
Both.
It's D, all of the above.
D, all of the above. I don't know. But all I know is that like, even if it wasn't, like, you know how we talk about like the whole timeline thing? It had to have been within the same timeline because of the reaction of it. Like, it was like a reaction, you know, to the energy source. Me trying to sound super smart, but I'm actually fucking dumb.
No, I used to keep thinking about the Project Fear episode and what happened then, so I keep like trying not to get it.
I know. It's hard. It's hard, but like, part of me feels like because of seeing it around the same time or at the same time, like it had to have been existing within the same timeline. So that's why I was like, it has to be the source, or as you said, whatever you said.
The reason for it.
The reason for it. So,
because like,
that's just my thoughts.
hold on, I might sneeze.
Okay. Achoo. Thank you. Oh my god. Bless you. I hope you're well.
You actually said achoo right as a sneeze, so that was fucking weird. Oh,
are you serious?
Yeah, that was creepy. Like shit. Okay. But like so.
Oh, that's funny. I'm so sorry.
So the banging. So in the shadow or the mist figure. So it's like the mist could be making the noise, or the mist could have scared like a different spirit, which made that spirit make the noise. Is kind of what I was thinking in my head. Yeah.
Hence what I was trying to say, but I was trying to like make it too wordy to seem like I'm very intelligent. So
today I am not. I'm just gonna own it right now. Today I'm definitely not. Sometimes I can be. Right now, no.
Me like every day, though.
Right? But like that's kind of like the whole point of all of this, though, is like we don't actually have those answers, so we're trying to find those answers. So that's why people go and explore haunted locations and get this evidence for people to debate on a podcast.
Exactly.
Ta-da! That's how it works.
But I do want to say, like, in addition to like the whole energy thing, it seems that with each member, like the activity gets progressively more prominent because like this is just a trend I've seen over all the years that I've been watching like Destination Fear and Project Fear, that when they do these solo type things, it's like with each person, it like ramps up the activity. So like Alex going in there, he got the big bangs, like pun intended. He went in there, he's third in line, and he catches really great evidence, in my personal opinion. So they're stirring the pot, and the pot's not liking it.
Nope.
Not at all. And so another thing too that happens is Tanner Solo, of course, is last because he's fourth. And he gets malevolent on the Ovilus, first of all. And while he is doing his little solo, Dak tries to walkie him, but he didn't get anything because Tanner's walkie wasn't working. And so that's pretty damn scary too.
And then they go in there after him, and they're like, yeah, your walkie wasn't working, and he checks it and it works.
Yeah.
And then weirder.
It is weird because if it had like died or something, that would have made a little bit more sense, but it didn't. Right. It was working perfectly fine.
Well, I too want to like mention, like, so you had just said that they're going in there and they're stirring things up, right? So it's like because Tanner, he was using the Ovilus, and the Ovilus was actually giving him responses. But like every person that went in before Tanner, they all tried equipment, and the equipment didn't do anything.
Yep.
So, because Dak heard the beeping, and then did Chelsea even get anything on her solo?
I don't think she really did, because I didn't make any notes.
So they just walkie scared her, and that was the biggest piece takeaway from her solo on this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Alex tried the REM pod. The REM pod didn't do anything, but he heard the 3 banging, and then Tanner goes in, and he's like, I'm going to take out the Ovilus. And then he actually starts getting responses on the equipment.
See?
And he's the 4th person in the building.
I'm telling you, the progression of it, it's just very evident.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, they're stirring up energy.
Yeah. I also wanted to say really quick too, did you see when they were, the entire crew was with Tanner after, the whole walkie situation? On that wall, it said, dare you, double dare you.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary.
I noticed it when Dakota walked in, and I was like, ugh.
It's like, double dare me what?
There's one spot, I forgot what the graffiti said. It was like, your something, your nightmare or something. And they didn't even, no, it wasn't, it couldn't have been that. Because I just remember I was like, you spelled your wrong, because it should have been the apostrophe R-E, your, and it wasn't.
You spelled your wrong.
I was like, if you're gonna be like spooky, creepy like that, then maybe spell better. I don't know.
Oh my god. I want to understand the graffiti. Like, I get it's an abandoned location, but like even Penhurst has like all that creepy graffiti, and it scares me. Like, remember when we were in the Mayflower building and we were towards the back of it? I think we were on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And we saw like the ancient Egyptian like painting in the background of like one of the gods. And I was like, this amplifies the scariness for me. Like, if I had been there at night, like doing a solo or something, I would have probably shit myself.
Yeah, it adds to that level of creepiness.
Yeah, like, it's just so eerie to me. And like the whole ancient Egyptian thing within itself, like their afterlife beliefs are very eerie and scary. I don't know why, they just are to me. And so I think seeing that would really freak me out. Yeah,
that's fair, to be honest.
But I
thought you were gonna just talk about like you don't know why people graffiti old abandoned places.
I don't. I really don't.
Because I'm like,
that is what I was gonna say.
We want to preserve these buildings, people just ruining them.
And it's every location almost.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And then they always write and paint like creepy shit.
Yeah.
On purpose, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, why? Why are you trying to add to like the scariness that I already feel in my soul? I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
If anybody is a graffiti artist and you graffiti old abandoned places, please answer these questions. Thank you.
Tell us why. Because what the fuck?
We just want to know, okay?
We just want to know. That's
please
it.
Tell me.
We won't jump your shit or anything. We just want to know.
Yeah. So, yeah. Then, after that, they decide to separate and go to bed.
And it was super abrupt.
Yeah. Then not a lot happened. I mean, like that we got to see, right? So, because this episode went by so quick. I was like, oh, okay,
it's over.
Yeah, ta-da. So Chelsea, of course, ends up in the basement, and then it's always like wherever Chelsea goes in, and she's like, the area she's the most drawn to or the most afraid of is always where she ends up sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang it. Then Al was on 4th floor, Tanner 3rd, and Dakota 2nd.
Yeah, and
so I made a note that when they first separated and then they all just got settled, it looked like there was this part where the 3 guys all heard the same like bang.
Yeah,
And
but Chelsea didn't.
Yeah, And it was funny to me because Dakota was like laying on the ground and he sprawled out, like opened his arms more. And I was like, that's not a very defensive stance if something's coming at you. I don't know why
Jesus.
that was so notable to me, but that's what I wrote in my notes.
See, like, okay, so you know how Dakota said, God, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but and I don't even know if this is like public knowledge or anything, but obviously Dakota used to play hockey when he was younger, and you know, hockey is like notorious for like fist fighting in the rink.
Yeah.
And apparently Dakota used to like fight people. And I just can't picture him doing that. I seriously cannot. Because of little instances like that. Like my first defense mode is to go starfish style. Like, you're telling me Starfish Boy is going out there fighting people in hockey games?
Starfish Boy.
Like, what the fuck is that about, dude? I can't see it. And like, I understand. Like, if Dakota hears this right now, I'm not saying it. I know that he knows that I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like, what the fuck, honestly? Because it's just like, I can't see him. Like, you know how some guys are very like defensive of their masculinity, where they're like, of course I fight. Of course I fight. But like, I genuinely can't see that from him. I would love to see that. I want to see him fighting someone. I want to see Big Daddy Dakota and not just Big Daddy Tanner. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see, I want to see them all fight. Like, I think it would be sick, you know?
Just need a project, UFC fighter.
A project
episode.
fight. Like, that would be fucking sick, bro.
That would be interesting for sure.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't, again, I do want to emphasize, like, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, I have never been able to see that after I heard him say that or read or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. He just turned into
I can't.
Starfish Boy.
Like, that was his first initial reaction.
I know.
That's a tell all, you know?
The way he just like spread out, I was like, bro, no. Your abdomen's exposed. This is
exactly.
How you get stabbed, my guy. Like,
exactly. Like, if I knew something scary was coming for me, right? Like, Atlanta doesn't count because it was behind me. I had no idea when that whole instance happened. Yeah. But like, if I'm home alone and I hear like a big loud noise or like something that's scary and it doesn't belong there, or it's happening when it's not supposed to, like, I go in full defensive mode. I'm the bitch that grabs the knife and holds it in her hand and is like, I will fucking kill you. Like, that's just who I am. Because I am big sister in protective mode, like that kind of person. Right. Which sounds a little fucked up. I'm not a murderer. I just no. It's just how it is. Like,
you have a defensive reaction to things.
Like, when I go out in public as a woman, you know, like, if we're going to the grocery store and we hear like a man calling to us from behind, like, excuse me, miss, I immediately go and I look like I'm the evilest bitch. Like, I will rip your throat out kind of person to protect myself. Even though inside I'm like, like a little chihuahua.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, like, I hope that my point's getting across.
It should.
I'm not going to murder anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hello. Who said that?
Murder.
Murder.
Anyway.
So back to the episode once again. You're getting off topic.
What count are we on with that one?
Great question. Nobody knows.
Nope.
So Tanner, when he was sitting, where was he again? Third floor. He had the REM pods, and then it was like, did he hear something? Because he was like, Mose, if that's you, can you make the REM pod go off? And then the REM pod went off. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, that was scary.
It always is intriguing to me when they get like very specific responses to things.
Me too.
Like, is that you? Make it go off. And then the REM pod's like, all right, beep, 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 beep.
And then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're like, okay, I guess that's you then.
It's so weird. And then, of course, I feel like another interesting thing that happened in this episode was Dakota getting a scary, deep voice on the voice recorder. And he also heard glass breaking. And when he went to investigate, Chelsea heard that too.
Yeah.
And when Dakota went to investigate it, he actually found broken glass.
Yeah, that was wild.
Fuck.
The only thing I wish is that we would have seen the same spot prior where there was like no glass, because then it would be like definitive proof. That was it,
Exactly. Yeah.
That would have been so cool.
It would have been. But it's just so eerie because, you know.
But did you notice right before the glass broke and like scared him that it looked like he was actually sleeping?
No, I did not.
Yeah. I was like, is he actually asleep right now?
See, every time that I think that they're actually asleep, they say that they're not. And I'm like,
saying that.
I'm like,
no, I didn't fall asleep. No, it was me. I would never.
It's like clearly like, I don't care where I am sometimes. I feel like I probably could fall asleep anywhere.
I feel that.
I don't know if that actually would happen, but
if you're super tired though, like really, really tired,
yeah,
this is a point where it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're out and you don't even know you're out, kind of ordeal.
Yeah. So, how does this compare to the Project Fear episode, man?
Well, first and foremost, in comparison,
we got so much more evidence. My gosh.
I know. However, we don't have to really go into it because we have already gone into it.
Yeah.
It's actually in episode 4 of Fear Babes that we review the first part of Project Fear's sleep or time at Old Hospital on College Hill, and then episode 5 we dive into the sleeping alone portion. So check those out if you would like to hear everything that we discussed. But in reference to similarities, well, we did discuss, the differences of seeing, more of the hospital. But let's see. Let me refer to my notes.
I do want to point out that in Project Fear, Chelsea is like this episode, so it's her pick, right? But she is so confident and so like evil in this one.
Yeah, she literally
I love it so much.
She literally is just so much of a badass. Like it blows my mind. I don't even know what other word to call her except badass. Like, bitch.
Yeah. She was just ready. She was ready to get there. She was ready to torment the guys with her evil plans. Like, she's like, this has been a couple years in the making. Like, let's go.
I know, it's wild. Okay, so I guess there is one similarity that I would like to discuss. I will say, like, as far as the nurse goes, like in Destination Fear, here's the similarity. Here's one of the first similarities that I noticed. So in Destination Fear, Alex catches that apparition when he's doing his solo. And in this episode, as they're discussing, as they're discussing
this so disgusting, Mike.
I know, you're disgusting. As we're, oh my gosh. Okay, so the reason why I said that real quick, Janice and her her stepdaughter, they look at each other and they go, "You're disgusting. You're disgusting. You're disgusting." And I was like, I don't understand what you guys are doing right now, but okay.
They're being disgusting, obviously.
I know, it's so funny. Anyway, so all right, back to what I was saying. So they're discussing the history of the building, and they discuss the nurse that was in that building. I don't think she ever clocked out. She ended up dying. Does that sound right to you? I think that's what it was.
I think so. Yeah.
So she ended up dying, obviously, because we wouldn't be talking about her if she lived. That's fucked, isn't it? All right. So
What is happening?
I don't know. So that's fucking shit. All right. I don't even know. I'm disappointed in myself. Okay, so the apparition, they believe that as they're discussing everything with the nurse, that the apparition that Alex caught most likely was her, because in reviews of people that have seen the apparition or spirit of this nurse, she's always from the torso up. And when they replayed Alex's capture from Destination Fear during his solo, you could tell it was like half of an apparition. It was like half a person. So Chelsea was like, dude, I think that apparition that we caught was the nurse. And next thing you know, they're getting responses from this damn nurse all night.
Yeah. Like the REM pod situation with her was wild.
Yeah, super crazy. Did you have a similarity that you were thinking of?
Yeah, when Chelsea was sleeping alone and she had, was it the obelisk again? And it said malevolent. And that's exactly what Tanner got, was malevolent. Wait, was she on the same floor?
See, that's what I'm wondering. I do think it was the obelisk.
Dude, yeah, it was the second floor.
Holy
was on the
shit.
second floor. Yep.
Dude.
And it said malevolent on the second floor again.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
I have to take a second to just be like, what the fuck about that one? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Like how, like they went there a couple years later. Same floor, same evidence, same device.
Yeah, that correlates insanely well.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And then I was like, ooh, that is spooky.
It is. I don't know. There is just so much of a trend with the fourth floor in this, in Project Fear. It seemed like in Destination Fear, it was the second floor that seemed to have all of the energy at that time. But this time it was the fourth floor because there was just so much going on.
Well, the elevator kept like returning to
the fourth floor.
Or they would hear like noises like the elevator door from the fourth floor type of thing. Like, that was interesting for sure.
That happened. Then Dakota asked, should we avoid the fourth floor? And the REM pod goes off. Why should we be afraid of the fourth floor? They got the response, he's a bad man. Okay, that's scary. Yep. The floor rattling and shaking when they were doing their little thing, and they found out it was a door on the fourth floor again. This is all just within Project Fear.
Yeah, that's
wild. There's also a graffiti written on the fourth floor that says your biggest fears are here. Love that. The graffiti trend.
That might be the spot where I was like, nope, I'm just kidding. Never mind. Keep going.
It's just the trend is still there, you know?
Yeah.
They asked, why are you so angry? They received devil. So, like, in comparison to their time at, like, at Old Hospital and College Hill and Destination Fair, it seemed like even though Tanner received that response, the response of malevolent on the Ovulus, then they are still getting so much, like, dark and evil responses during their time there for Project Fear.
Yeah.
Like, the energy is completely different.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, Alex in the basement with the mag lights, and he was, like, asking, what did he specifically, do you want me to leave the basement? And the flashlight came on for yes. And then, he was like, turn it off if you want me to leave, and it turns off.
Yeah. And it's,
yeah. I will tell you that. So, because Mom and Dawn watched these with me again, right? So Dawn was like, he kept talking about, because Dakota had to sleep in the body cooler.
On the fourth floor, by the way.
Was it on the fourth floor? I thought it was on the first floor.
Nope.
Because Alex was in the basement and could hear him screaming.
Oh, no. My notes say body cooler is better than the fourth floor.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
It's better than the fourth floor. Okay.
That's literally what my notes say. Body cooler over fourth floor.
I wonder if Dakota would agree with that.
He would not.
Yeah, so Dawn kept making comments about, like, he was like, the first time I watched this, I had such a hard time watching, like, Dakota being stuck in the body cooler. And then Dawn was like, this is, like, one of the first times you could really hear distress in Dakota's voice. And he just, like, kept making comments like that.
It's true.
He was like, near the end when Dakota really starts freaking out, like, before Alex lets him out, he was like, he's like, even I'm distressed for him. You can hear it in my voice. Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's just so hard to watch.
That was one of the things that we discussed when we originally spoke about these episodes, was just how, like, different, like, it was such a different side that we saw to Dakota in these episodes, because, like, he's typically a pretty chill guy. They all are. You know, he might make comments here and they're like, oh, this sucks. But he was actually, like, really upset.
Yeah.
He was not happy. Like, he was very, very, very not himself and upset in this episode. Like, literally, one of the notes I made, actually 2 notes that I made back to back, I said, Dak is so mad. I'm not going to be mean to Dak.
And then here we are being mean to Dak.
I know. It's
so funny, though.
It can't not happen, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, just, like, Dawn was like, he was, like, literally freaking out for him. So, again, you know, because he did it the first time, but he just kept, this whole time, he was, like, making comments. He's like, you can tell Dakota's, like, really freaking out. I'm like, why are you concerned about him? No, I'm just kidding.
Why are you concerned about him? We're not.
He's fine. Like, he's in Jersey right now. Like, it's good.
Yeah, he's perfectly okay. He wasn't then, but he is now.
That's funny. I do have one note. I don't know why I said note that way.
Note?
I have one note that my mom said. But I don't know. I think that might be, like, the last thing we should share. So I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to discuss before I share this little tidbit.
No, I do not.
Okay. So Mom said she made me pause the show so she could tell me this, just FYI. So, we were watching part 1 of Project Fear Old Hospital on College Hill, so we hadn't even made it, like, halfway through yet. And she's like, the one thing I have noticed in comparison to Project Fear and Destination Fear. And then she's, like, staring at me, and I was like, do you want me to pause the show? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I paused it. And she's like, in Project Fear, the crew is more engaged with the audience. She said that it's like they're talking with us versus in Destination Fear they were talking at us. And she said that DF felt like she was watching the show, but PF feels like she's a part of the show. Like it's easier for her to imagine being there with them in Project Fear than it was Destination Fear. And she said that Project Fear she's way more engaged in than she was with Destination Fear.
Yeah, I have to agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and Don, he was like, I would agree with that. So.
And like what we said in the last episode, it's so much easier to watch Project Fear. Now, I will give them this, and by them, I mean Travel Channel.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the second season, we could start to see the crew's personality a little more. In contrast to the very first season where they were like, no personality, no laughs, no nothing. You have to be serious. You're doing scary stuff. Take it seriously. Be serious. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Like, that kind of sucked, to be honest with you. It kind of did when you're, like, I know in the last episode you said, we've seen the full package and seeing such a stark contrast from the full package of all the fun and getting the fear and getting everything versus getting a little bit and not a lot of their personality. Seeing this season finale, it was a very good middle ground. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. From like absolutely nothing to absolutely everything. It was like, here's a little taste, and it was more entertaining to watch.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like, still, I totally agree with what your mom said. It does feel like we're a part of it rather than watching it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I know in the last episode when Dakota was talking about like the spirit box and they weren't able to do it, he was like, because apparently somebody did it first, and then he did like the eye roll thing. Like, that could have never happened. Ever happened.
Well, and then in this episode, when Chelsea was talking about having him sleep in the body cooler, she was like, "You're the best investigator I know," and he was like, "Trained by the worst."
Yep. I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's because he was,
But alas. He's out here trying to do his own thing, so.
Yeah. And, they're just so much more entertaining.
Yeah.
And see, like, what I don't understand is like, when you think about that show, the show that Kevin Spacey is a part of, in the beginning, they were goofing around. They were laughing. They still had that scary element to them. But it's like, they were able to get away with far more than Destination Fear ever was from like the second they got back on track.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like TV was more strict back then than it is now.
You would think, but
we have bitches twerking on stage now, and like half naked people dancing on cars. Like, do you really think everything has to be so serious when we're, seeing shit like that all the time? Like,
yeah. But then you do have people that are like how do you say it without like sounding rude? There are people that are just going to complain about everything, right? So like I could see the network trying to be like super PC about stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time too.
Yeah.
But I think, one of the biggest differences in personality that we saw just in these two episodes together was Alex.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Alex was able to be more of a person.
Yeah. And the way he threw that Alex fit about having to do a solo.
Oh, gosh. An Alex fit.
What else would you call that? It's just an Alex fit.
It was an Alex fit.
And he's all, what did I ever do to you? And then they flash back to him being annoying as shit.
That was so fun.
Literally called Chelsea a B word, like.
And And he was just
what did I do to deserve this?
everything. That's what you did. You fucking
So funny.
Oh my god, it is funny. So yeah,
Both of us. So yeah, that's it.
that is it for the old hospital on College Hill portion.
But first, a message from my notes.
Oh yes.
Thank you.
The fact you handwrite these. See, I do not handwrite them. I take notes on my phone, but you have consistently always taken notes via paper.
Yeah, I've never. I don't think I've thrown away any of these notes ever either. Like a little
sick.
pile. I'm like, this is my little for your babes project for your notes pile.
I feel special.
Oh no, I'm weird.
A little, but so
It's
am I.
Save it, like, because it's like one of those things. I'm like, what if I want to have like nostalgia sometime 5-10 years from now? You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
But then one day I'll be like, nah, never mind. Throws it all away.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
I don't need this shit.
literally that. So you never know, though.
That's true.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. We did the damn thing.
We did the damn thing.
So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share us with your friends, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Etsy, Patreon. Where else, man?
I think you got it covered.
If anybody wants to text me, my phone number. No, I'm just kidding.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Do you?
Here is Burgundy's number 97. I'm just kidding. That is definitely not her area code either.
Nope, that ain't not even close.
Nowhere close. Nowhere close.
Yeah, but if you want to get a hold of me, no, I'm just kidding.
But okay, but seriously, if you ever want to ever get a hold of me, my number is.
Here's my email address.
Here's my email address that only every other person ever that has been on this podcast has ever seen.
Yeah,
Are you
literally
ready?
every single person we've ever talked to. And then, do you want my soch too? Do you just want to have my debit card number?
Yeah,
like,
go ahead. Yeah.
all of it? Yeah.
My debit card number is
12.
12.
That's it. Just 12.
Yay. Congratulations. You are able to get a subscription to my booty call.
Oh.
I don't know.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say OnlyFans.
That's what I wanted to say, but it didn't come out right.
So you went with booty call?
I was not even going to say booty call. I was going to say booty hole. But then I was like, oh.
Call.
My brain,
the
way that our brains function needs to be studied.
Well, I'll donate my body to science when I die then.
It needs to be donated now while I'm alive.
Somebody just put some wires in there, see what's going on, please.
Yeah.
Like, they plug it in, flat lines. But then they're like, she died! Turns around, you're just sitting there just blinking.
Damn,
breathing.
that'd be fucked.
And they're like, something's wrong with this one.
It's like, no shit, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure it out.
You're like, yeah, why did you think I looked for help? Like,
why do you think I'm mentally, like, psychotic? Dun dun dun.
Dude, this podcast is weird as shit.
It's
A specific episode.
really weird. And there are things on here that I have never shared before. So thank you. Thank you to everyone. I know. The sentimental part was that I get knives when I'm scared by myself. Happy Halloween!
If you walk around the corner, stab, stab.
Ah! Oh no! Oh no! That has definitely, most definitely, maybe has not. Yes, happened before.
Now we're really sharing things we've never
It
shared.
hasn't. It hasn't. It hasn't. It hasn't. Don't take this into context. I have not. I swear. Put me up to a lie detector test. We're deleting that.
Also
Anyway,
flat lines.
rest in peace. R.I.P. RV.
R.I.P. the truth.
You will
yeah,
never get the truth out of me.
I think on that note, should we? Bye, babes.
Bye, babes.
Number. No, you go first.
I'm not crazy. I'm not.
Okay, well, my phone number is 30